and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Broadcasting live from the Capital OTB studios, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on this Friday morning. I'm Seth Merrow. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to our friends at Gulfstream Park for their sponsorship. Gulfstream Park champions start here. And do note, speaking of Gulfstream Park, that a week from today, we will be broadcasting live from Gulfstream. So mark that on your calendar. Brian Edo has been down all winter. We'll be doing a handicapper's report a little bit early on, I believe we're an 8:30 kickoff next Friday. We're an 8 o'clock next Saturday, week from tomorrow, the day before and the day of the Florida Derby. As I say, Brian Edo and I doing a little handicapper's report early, then a Racing Across America. Hopefully we'll plug in all the players down there leading into next Saturday's Florida Derby. Gunnevera, of course, at this point looking pretty good as far as sitting atop or near the top of many of the three-year-old polls. We'll see what happens next week as things will shake out. But again, we'll be live at Gulfstream starting next Friday morning. Friday and Saturday morning should be a lot of fun. Also want to remind you of some of the promos and events here at Capital OTB. Today, we want to see you here. Clubhouse Racebook, it's always a lot of fun when we have the big crowd for the happy hour bankroll. $750 this time. We've jumped up the bankroll and also the number of folks who can participate. Toss your name in the hat between 11 and 2 o'clock today. We'll pick 30 folks out of the hat at about 2. Another 5 folks selected online. I'll start playing. Probably look at Aqueduct, Oaklawn, Tampa, and Gulfstream. Those will probably be the concentration. There is that live carryover over $1 million now in the Rainbow Six at Gulfstream. Certainly we'll have a play there. So come on down and root us on and perhaps be part of the team. Clubhouse Racebook this afternoon, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Don't forget, that's the same location tomorrow for the Dubai World Cup. The doors open at 8:30. Should be a lot of fun. A great day of racing in Dubai, highlighted by Arrogate in the Dubai World Cup itself, but certainly plenty of American interest in the undercard races as well. All of that kicks off, again, here at the Clubhouse Racebook at 8:30, but of course, you can bet online as well at CapitalOTBBet.com. Also do want to mention there's an online knockout challenge on Saturday. There's a knockout challenge here at the Clubhouse Racebook on Sunday, so a little more fun over the weekend as well. Also want to mention that Derby tickets are going to go on sale for the Clubhouse Kentucky Derby tickets. If you're interested in reserving a seat here for Kentucky Derby Day, they'll be on sale starting, I believe it's today, the Kentucky Derby tickets for the Clubhouse. So mark it on your calendar and put in your order for tickets as soon as possible, because it's a great venue, of course, to watch the Kentucky Derby and all the great racing from Churchill Downs on that first Saturday in May. Again, mentioned that we'll have a little Rainbow Six play in the happy hour bankroll this afternoon. I didn't put a ticket together this morning for television because of that. I've been putting them together starting last Sunday. So Sunday, Wednesday, yesterday, I've been putting tickets together. And I probably, because of the bankroll, I'll probably bounce my play up a little bit. And I didn't want to put different tickets together. For here on the show, I'm looking for, in the $40 to $60 range. And I'll probably, it won't be a crazy ticket. I don't want to do that. But it may be up at that upper end of 60. I don't know. I really haven't taken a close look yet, because I want to kind of wait for scratches as I decide on bankroll plays and whatnot. But that's the reason I didn't put a Rainbow Six play together this morning. But if you follow the Capital OTB Twitter feed in the afternoon, typically the plays are put out for the happy hour bankrolls. And so I'll make sure the Rainbow Six play gets put up on the Twitter account as we play that this afternoon. And again, you don't have to be on Twitter, look at Twitter regularly to follow it. If you go to Google, the search engine, and you type in Capital OTB and Twitter, you'll get a link to the Twitter account. And you click on that, and everything that gets tweeted out during the afternoon will be right there on that page. So you can follow it that way. Check it out, as I say, this afternoon as I get the scratches and really can kind of make a good decision. We'll put a ticket together for the Rainbow Six again today. But yesterday's ticket was, it was a funny sequence. And congratulations to Gabby. I think Gabby hit. At the end of the day, I was kind of trying to look at her ticket, but whether she hit it, I'm pretty sure she hit. But one way or the other, she boldly put 2 singles at the end of her ticket, and both of them won. They were favorites, but still, both of them won. Now, it was a quirky sequence yesterday. I went 5 for 6 with the play I put out here yesterday. And as we talked to Ron Nicoletti, I was 4 deep in the finale. And Ron mentioned a couple of key scratches that were among my 4. And so I said, stay tuned, we'll update again on the Twitter feed. And I wound up looking at the last race and saying, I was 4 deep, now I'm 2 deep, do I want to add there? And I looked at that and I thought, no, I'm satisfied. I had 1 single on the ticket. So I could get back to the price of the ticket I put here on the air if I added 1 more. That's what I did. In the race I had the single yesterday, I went 1 further deep, pulling out one of my horses that I had in parentheses to use in case of scratches. Well, the winner was one of those other horses. I didn't go deep enough there, but we were 5 for 6 otherwise. And the horse I missed was completely usable, went off as the second choice in the race. So I just kind of whiffed on that race and subsequently whiffed on the play. But a lot of people got lucky yesterday. This thing chalked out. And as I said, I'm hoping it keeps chalking out so we can kind of keep playing and chasing these consolations, which have the potential to be pretty good. Things were logical, again, a week ago, last Friday, and it paid almost $900. Over the weekend, last weekend, it was a little less logical, and those paid big. Wednesday, it was just under 5,000, and again, that was havable. Yesterday, however, it really chalked out, which, as I say, I'm okay with because it kept us alive to play into today. The carryover now over $1 million. But to give you the sequence yesterday, a $4 horse, it was 5 favorites and a second choice. $4 horse, $5 horse, $9 second choice, $4 horse, and wound things up with a $2.80 favorite. So again, 5 favorites and a second choice, 5 of the horses under $6. So it chalked out and paid $190, as I say, for the 20-cent increment, $190. So as I say, I went 5 to 6. I wasn't kicking myself too much, though. It wasn't like we lost out on $800 or $1,000 or $1,200, $190. That said, the $190 is okay. If like the ticket I structured yesterday, where we were 3 by 3 by 3 by 2 by 2 by 2. We included favorites, but also in the mix were some 5 or 6 to 1 shots. They get through. Now you're going to get the decent price. The favorites win, though. You're backed up. As I say, yesterday I just missed. But for those people who collected the 190, if you'd put together a ticket similar to what I did and have been putting together, my ticket yesterday was $43. If you're in that game plan, that 40 to 60, the 190 buys you 4 more tickets over the next few days. So it wasn't what you're chasing, what you're shooting for, but you turn your 40 into 190. As I say, it keeps you alive to kind of move forward and continue playing over the next few days. And again, the carryover today on that Rainbow Six down at Gulfstream, well over $1 million. I will say I'm nervous today that it did chalk out yesterday, because how long of a series of logical results can you have before some quirky things happen? So I'm just wondering if the law of averages will work against us today. So maybe we'll root for some crazy things in the first couple of races at Gulfstream, and then think the ship will right itself as we progress through the day, and we'll have another fairly logical afternoon. But again, we would like to see, some favorites certainly, but maybe let's get some $12 or $15 horses in there that we can put in our mix. We'll see what happens. And again, check the Capital OTB Twitter feed later on this afternoon as we progress through the afternoon with the happy hour bankroll plays. You will be able to see the Pick Six ticket, the Rainbow Six ticket that we do eventually put together, so you can follow if you would like to. Speaking of the happy hour bankroll, a new twist has been added. Not only has the bankroll been upped in the number of players, but there's also a Beat the Handicapper competition during the afternoon too. I think you're in line for a $50 voucher if you beat me, the number of people who beat me. There are 6 races at Aqueduct, the 4th through the finale this afternoon. You'll get an entry sheet as you come in. Put your horses on the sheet. I have my horses picked out for this afternoon, and if you pick just straight winners, if you pick more winners than I did, your name goes in the hat, and you're in line for a potential betting voucher. So that's, as I say, a little added twist this afternoon. Beat the Handicapper at the Clubhouse Racebook as part of the happy hour bankroll. All right, before we get to a break here, I did want to, again, do a little preview of some of the stakes action. I mentioned some of these stakes yesterday. Obviously, in Dubai, the World Cup, and things kick off kind of early. I should mention, the Clubhouse Racebook doors open at 8:30, but the first race in Meydan, post time is 7:45, and I mentioned that because it's the Godolphin Mile, and Sharp Azteca is in there for George Navarro. This is a horse that last time out won the Gulfstream Park Handicap just a few weeks ago, February 11th, with a 106 buyer, had run a close-up second behind Mind Your Biscuits with a 106 buyer in the Malibu just prior to that. This is a nice little runner coming over for, as I say, George Navarro. Edgar Zayas scheduled to ride. So the opener has some of that American interest that's going to make the day a lot of fun tomorrow. Again, plenty of action in Dubai kicking off early. But I wanted to just go back to the Spiral, because I mentioned this race a little bit yesterday, the Spiral at Turfway. It's a Derby points race, grade 3 event, $500,000 up for grabs, mile and an eighth on the synthetic. And again, Jeremy Plonk, not only the past few weeks as we've kind of anticipated this race, but over the past couple of years, has said, if you look at this race over recent years, Gulfstream Park turf performers do very well. And subsequently, you have to think Ken and Sarah Ramsey's Kitten's Cat is going to be a solid contender in here off a close-up second in the Palm Beach last time with a pretty good number as compared to this field. So Kitten's Cat, logical. But I just wanted to go back, because I mentioned this horse yesterday. The other side of Florida, the turf at Tampa, Parlor, only 3 career starts so far. This was the latest, the 22nd of February. Parlor is going to be the number 4 horse here. The even money favorite wins off by just about 2 lengths. And again, 3 starts so far. The career debut was at Ellis, broke the maiden in the first start, and then went into the rich Kentucky Downs Juvenile on the turf. Just about $350,000 up for grabs, and just missed there. Laid off until this race you're seeing here at the end of February. I think Parlor could be really interesting. And 5-1 on the morning line. We'll see, because 4-1, and I'm just looking 4-1, I think, for Kitten's Cat is the, So we have a lukewarm favorite. I think the betting public is going to be far more enamored with Kitten's Cat than that 4-1 indicates. But I'll be interested to see where they go with Parlor, because there are other directions you can go. Giant Payday comes in out of that Palm Beach down in Florida as well. Mark Casse has King in his court, who kind of flopped on the main track at Tampa in the Sam Davis, but had run well on synthetic last year up at Woodbine. Owen Hardy has a runner in here. Mike Maker has Fast and Accurate. I think the shipper for Graham Motion coming in from the turf in Southern California could potentially take a little action as well. Todd Pletcher has Bronson. So I think there's a lot of different directions to go. So hopefully that 5-1 on Parlor kind of holds up. As I say, the horse you're going to have to get through is Kitten's Cat, but I just thought Parlor was potentially a little bit interesting. On the similar angle, the turf from Florida, just the other side of the state. We'll see what that one can do tomorrow in the Spiral, which, again, a couple of nice stakes underneath as well. The Rushaway and the Bourbonnette Oaks at Turfway tomorrow as well. So some nice stakes action, again, here in the United States and around the world tomorrow as well. All right, we will take a break. When we come back, we will be joined by Andrew Dembski from Tampa Bay Downs. A little bit later on, Nancy Holthus from Oak Lawn Park. We'll wind things up with Dave Rodman from Laurel. All of that right after this.
Now get all the racing information you need right on your mobile device with Capital OTB's new mobile app. Wager anytime, anywhere, right from your smartphone or tablet. Watch, wager, and win right at your fingertips. The new Capital OTB mobile app. The championship horse racing continues at Capital OTB. There's no better place to watch, wager, and win than OTB TV and CapitalOTBBet.com.
It's official. OTB TV is heading south to Gulfstream Park for this year's Florida Derby. We'll be broadcasting live from the paddock Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st. Brian Addo and I will be handicapping the day's races, and later on we'll have interviews with the top trainers and jockeys. I'll also be welcoming some very special guests to the set. That's Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st, right here on OTB TV.
With more than 60 Easy Bet and branch locations throughout the region, you're just a short drive from all the top tracks across the country and around the world. For a complete list of all Easy Bet and branch locations, visit CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB, we're closer than you think. No matter where in the world you are, the excitement of wagering on horse racing is just a click away. CapitalOTB.com offers live streaming, past performances, race replays, our virtual tote board, analysis and selections from professional handicappers, and a simple, safe, and secure wagering platform. And best of all, you get track prices. Going on now, it's Bet 50, Get 50. Simply open a Capital Bets account, bet $50, and get $50 cash back. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America, joined now by Andrew Dembski at Tampa Bay Downs. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Seth. Always good to talk to you.
Same here. And before the break, I focused on a little Tampa action because I was previewing the Spiral. I think Parlor could be interesting in that Spiral coming out of the seasonal debut win down at Tampa.
Well, I think Parlor is that Jesus Castanon's mounts? I believe it is.
That's a good question.
I can check.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it is. He actually played 18 holes with Jesus yesterday.
Oh, there
so
you
he
go.
rides Parlor like he played golf. He'll be just fine because he's a hell of a golfer.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Castanon. Yeah, he's on board. Yeah. Oh, okay.
There you go.
So you lost some money?
Oh, no, I would never plan for money. He would just empty my wallet. So.
Very good. So update us a little bit. I'm assuming if you were playing golf, weather nice today down there.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It was probably about 75 about 8 o'clock this morning. I haven't been outside since about 8 o'clock this morning, so I'm assuming it's still pretty hot out there.
Very good. Before we get to today, I just wanted to go back to last Saturday. Nice story, and I don't know whether this was notable at the time or only picked up on the press notes because I got the press release a little later that day, and so I don't know whether you saw the celebration in the winner's circle, but it was a nice little story last Saturday with a family from Ohio. They were with their young daughter, the executive at a brewing company in Ohio. His first horse was racing at Tampa. Not the first start for him, but it's the first horse he owned. We'll watch the stretch run here last Saturday. It's going to be the number 2, Nice Not Nice. So they're headed to Florida for a little winter vacation. He looks in the entries. He says, hey, my horse is running to Tampa. And so they swung over. And number 2, Nice Not Nice, as the 3-2 favorite, gets it done by a head in here. I'm thinking now we have an owner for life, because I'm imagining when your first horse goes off as the favorite and does things like this, like your first bet, you cash your first bet, you're a fan for life. I think this guy's an owner for life.
I think so, too. I tell you what, that horse's debut 2 starts back was really solid, and goodness, they hammered that horse down to favoritism. Wasn't expecting it. And even though the horse only got the job done by a narrow margin, I think in the stretch, I don't know if there was really any doubt. That horse was going to get up, every stride gaining ground, and a really nice effort from that Buff Bradley trainee, who's, Buff Bradley's barn is red hot. So I think that owner's got the right trainer right now.
Yeah, as I say, it was a nice little story with the family kind of taking a little side trip for the Florida vacation and getting to see their horse win. All right, let's get some ideas for this afternoon down at Tampa. Let's kick things off looking at race number 4. The 4th today is a $25,000 claimer. They're on the turf at 1 1/16. What did you see in race 4?
Well, I'm going to use number 1 on top, taking it easy. 3-year-old fillies are never the easiest category for me to handicap, but Vic Carrasco Jr., the trainer, he won with this move earlier this meet, having a horse come in from Puerto Rico and getting the job done coming out of a group race, and that's what taking it easy is doing, getting back on turf today. The turf debut was great. Disappointed as a favorite as a 2-year-old in that last 2-year-old start, but stayed on pretty well, all things considered. I think this horse getting back on turf, off the freshening from Puerto Rico, taking it easy. If that morning line holds up at 9-2, that's a really nice price for a horse who might be slightly overlooked.
All right, let's move on to race number 7 this afternoon. Maiden claimer, the tag's $15,000 to $16,000. They'll go a quick 5.5. What did you see in race 7?
I'm only going to use 2 horses here in the late pick 4 set. Tootsie on a Roll, the 7 horse, I think you have to use. Decent enough debut. Set a pretty fast pace. Honestly, I thought this horse was gone and just kind of backed out of it there in the stretch. And then they sent the horse to Gulfstream and tried to turf. And even though it doesn't look like a tremendous running line necessarily, the horse had a tough post, had a wide trip, and all things considered, stayed on pretty well. Made a big move to get up to 3rd. After kind of a slow start out wide. So I think Tootsie on a Roll has some talent. The 5-horse Colonial Last kind of interests me on debut. Ronnie Allen Jr. does so well with inexperienced horses. The workout pattern is not stellar, but I think this horse is probably fit, ready to go, and he's really bred well enough. Everything out of this dam crashing through. All 6 siblings are multiple winners. You get Courageous Cat on top. I think this horse is sneaky. I think 8-1 might hold up, and the multis might get completely overlooked. But Bobby Raymond, very capable horseman. So Colonial Last, interesting if you're going to try to beat Tootsie on a Roll.
All right, sounds good. In the 9th race this afternoon, it's an allowance, non-winners of 1 other than. They're on the grass at 1 mile. What did you see in race number 9?
Well, I think the 8 and 10, Lottie and Realistic, Shug McGahee and Grand Motion horses are going to get that in the multis, but I'll be honest, Seth, I think you only need 1. I think Unfazed is legit in here. That's the 7 horse. Arnold Delacour, Danny Centeno, Layout Stable. The maiden breaking score was a complete just hand ride. Very easy. Just shown the stick there in the stretch. That was back in April of 2016. Comes here and hooks into Wit, who was a Christophe Clement horse who went gate to wire. They ignored Unfazed at 10-1. Still stayed great to place. Big move that day, wide trip. I think we get a better trip today, second off the way off. Unfazed going to be my single coming home in today's late pick 4.
All right, I like it. I have a little bankroll promotion in here today. I'll be looking at Tampa playing for some of the patrons that make the bankroll team. So I will toss some of your selections into my mix as well. But Andrew, before we let you go, I'm curious, before I ask you some thoughts on what you might be rooting for in general, I'm just curious as the venues around the country. Tampa, do you guys open early tomorrow for the Dubai World Cup?
Oh goodness, Seth, you actually got me there. I don't even know. I hope so. I'll certainly be watching. I'm following along on Twitter. A good friend of mine is over there, a photographer, and all I see are pictures of Arrogant. It just looks just incredible. So I couldn't even tell you, unfortunately. but I'll be in early to watch it.
Yeah. I'm just
I'll tell you that
like I say, I'm curious. I'm sure some places do and some places don't. I know up here, I said earlier on the show we're opening our facility here in Albany at 8:30 tomorrow, and I know as I've watched simulcast signals, some other places are doing it as well. And I'm just curious as to kind of what the popularity is in the general racing public and from some other venues. But as you say, we're all going to be watching, and by the time they swing around to the big event, that's 12:45. So everybody's on track by that point. Well, I'm looking forward to see what Gunrunner does, and if he can give Arrogate a scare. But what are you looking at tomorrow in the World Cup?
As much as I think Gunrunner's pretty legit, I'm hoping Arrogate's just as good as we all think. I mean, I think at this point he's kind of cemented himself as potentially one of the best horses we might see in our lifetimes. It's pretty incredible what this horse could do. One of the biggest striding horses I've seen. So. I kind of, it's the same story as it was, for a couple of years recently with California Chrome. I just hope Arrogate's as legit as we think he is.
Yeah, as I say, I'm intrigued to see what Gunrunner does, but one way or the other. I mean, if Arrogate runs away, as you kind of alluded to, we're now looking at one of the best horses in our lifetime, certainly. So that'll be fun also. Andrew, as always, appreciate the visit, the conversation. Good luck this afternoon, and we'll talk again next week.
Yeah, well, have fun down in Florida.
Oh, right. We'll talk again in 2 weeks. That's right. I'm in the habit, but we're down at the Florida Derby next week, so I'll be down sort of in your neck of the woods. But yeah, we'll talk again in 2 weeks.
All right, sounds good, Seth. You take care.
Andrew Dembski from Tampa Bay Downs. We'll head to a break. When we come back, we'll shift our attention to Oaklawn Park. We'll head to Arkansas right after this. A little bit later on, Dave Rodman from Laurel. Stay tuned.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Championship horse racing continues at Capital OTB. There's no better place to watch, wager, and win than OTB TV and CapitalOTBBet.com.
Hey, we've got a new show.
We do.
Absolutely, and they're off right here on the OTB TV network Sunday morning.
What's it all about?
It'll be a lot of fun. Fast-paced, plenty of topics, guests, handicapping, commentary, and maybe some opinions.
I have opinions on my opinions.
And we will have plenty of them because you're on the show. And they're off Sunday mornings here on the OTB TV network, 10 a.m. each Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. Anthony Mormino, Seth Merrow. We'll see you there.
I'm sorry, I went... Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit RTN.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Be sure to join NYRA handicapper and racing analyst Andy Serling at the Clubhouse Racebook in Albany. Andy will be handicapping live the day's races and managing a $1,500 bankroll on behalf of 50 lucky patrons. To be part of Andy's bankroll team, sign up at the Clubhouse Racebook or online at CapitalOTB.com. Not at the track and not near a computer? No problem. Wager with Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System and you'll never get shut out again. Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System is quick, simple to use, and guarantees your wagers are accurate and placed on time. For more information, visit CapitalOTB.com or call Capital OTB's customer service hotline at 800-292-BETS. Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System. Never get shut out again.
Runs at him with 1 furlong to run. They've let flat out behind. Fort Larned digs in. Mucho Macho Man runs at him. Fort Larned, Mucho Macho Man. Fort Larned with the heart of a champion.
He's still reaching out to Oaklawn Park. As soon as we make contact, we will alert you. Again, a little preview of Dubai racing for tomorrow. Obviously, the highlight, 12:45 scheduled post time, 12:45 our time, nighttime over there in Dubai. But boy, the feature looks really good. Obviously, everything goes through Arrogate, who wound up with post 9. Interesting morning line. He's 1-3 on the morning line. Never have seen that before. Mike Smith on board. Bob Baffert trains. This will be career start number 8. Over $11 million, almost $12 million, 11.8. Or no, it's actually just over 11 million. But man, $7 million with that Pegasus World Cup win earlier in the year, and just with $10 million up for grabs tomorrow. You look at the numbers, the money per start for Arrogate, kind of mind-boggling. Keen Ice is in for Todd Pletcher and Donegal Racing out of a 4th place finish in the Pegasus World Cup. Todd Pletcher also has Neolithic, 3rd in the Pegasus World Cup last time. So, it just looks like a really, really phenomenal event. I'm told we do have, and I hear in my ear, Nancy Holthus from Oaklawn Park. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. Happy to have you on board. Talk a little Oaklawn for this afternoon and go back and review some of the action from last weekend as well, because last weekend, obviously, we had a performance on the 3-year-old trail that's worth talking about. So let's do that. Get a little thought from the Rebel last week, Malagasy, however, I've heard it pronounced about 5 different ways, but he looked pretty good. The buyer number was a 91, which doesn't necessarily jump off the page, but he's still lightly raced. What were your thoughts coming out of, and I will also note, the disappointment here was Baffert's American Anthem, and the West Coast is now really chasing to put a 3-year-old in the picture, but Pletcher's horse looked pretty good on Saturday.
Yeah, he was just an absolute superstar, and I tell you what, to make the stakes debut in his 2-turn debut, I think, I certainly overlooked him, but again, for Pletcher to come in, he really did impress a lot of people, and I was a little disappointed in not only American Anthem, but also Royal Mo. I saw John Sheriff spend a lot of time on track after the race with Victor Espinoza, and I know, the connections of Bob Baffert's horse had to be really disappointed as well. I know they had a lot of, high expectations for American Anthem, but Malagasy, a huge, huge stunner in the Grade 2 Rebel. So I'm thinking they might want to send him back here for the Arkansas Derby because he earned 50 points, in his stakes debut. But I think a lot of talk was about Sonneteer, the maiden, scoring at 112-1 to round out the exacta. That was a huge, huge run for him.
And we talked with Jeremy Plonk a little bit earlier, who does a countdown to the Crown package on the Horse Player Now site every week. So he's looking at the 3-year-old scene, and he made the point, and I can't disagree, Sonneteer, with his nice performance, may just have kind of put an exclamation point on what this Derby trail has been this year. Every time you think you have one you can hang your hat on, it just kind of falls apart.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's even more wide open now than I think that we had anticipated, and I think it's still a head scratcher for me. I think it still leaves the door wide open in my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be fun over these next few weeks. Florida Derby and then Bluegrass Wood and, of course, Arkansas Derby. Hopefully things will start to define themselves a little more. Wanted to go back and look at one more race from last week because I'm curious what the buzz was maybe on track. This is the Azeri from last weekend, and Terra Promessa, who just defines horse for a course, goes off at 30 cents to $1, and Terra Promessa, as we pick it up, is going to be the number 2 horse. And I'll tell people to watch him going into the turn because Vic Stauffer, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty close, a world of trouble. And we can see the number 2 horse, Terra Promessa, get into a world of trouble under Irad Ortiz. And you just have to think, boy, you talk about the connections coming out of some poor performances in the Rebel. You have to think the Steve Asmussen barn not thrilled here as Terra Promessa winds up 5th. But some of the show bettors may have been happy. Show prices blow up $19, $12, and Tiger Moth, who runs 3rd, $45 to show. Can't take anything away from the winner, number 7, Streamline, but boy, Terra Promessa, that was a disappointment. And I think it all goes down to that trouble in the first turn.
Yeah, I mean, I think going around the first turn, I was watching from the paddock office, and we were all just like, what in the world is going on? And it was interesting because the quote from from Irad Ortiz was, yeah, I got a great trip. And then we were all like, no, you didn't. So, but it was interesting. We were all curious, did Steve tell him to take back, or did he tell him to send? I mean, the question's still out, from the jury. So, but I could not be happier for the connections of Streamline, for Brian Williamson, Nancy Vanier, his mother-in-law, who is co-owner of Streamline. So just an unbelievable story behind this horse. Brian Williamson, his mother-in-law, co-owns this horse. And, I mean, just could not be just more elated for this family.
Yeah, we're watching.
I mean, she was a hard-knocking mare, as we all know.
Yeah, we're watching them come under the wire, and that was a nice performance, again, by the winner. Can't take anything away from the winner, but boy, that was certainly an eye-popper with Terra Promessa in the performance. And you have to think there'll be a rebound for that one next time. So we'll keep our eyes open there. All right, let's get some ideas for today. First, what's the weather look like?
Well, it's nice right now, and we're being told a huge front is coming in, but won't hit the area until after the races are run. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, perfect. Where do you want to start? What do you want to look at?
Let's go race 6, the very tough starter allowance, going 1.5 miles. The second time we've run the 1.5 miles here at Oakland.
All right, race number 6 is a starter allowance at the $7,500 level. Always kind of salty races, and as you say, 1.5 miles. What did you see in race number 6?
Well, a true standout in the field is the number 6, Wild About You. Probably the only horse on the ground that has won at this distance twice, coming from the barn of Scott Mullins, Eddie Perez in the irons. Coming off a 4th at this distance last time against starters, optional 10,000 claimers. It's been a while since he's seen the winner's circle all the way back. It was a 6th-length winner all the way back at Indiana in September, but I'm thinking he's primed for the winner's circle and could probably get the job done today. I think he's looking for it.
And what else do you have for us today?
Well, let's go to the 8th race. This is an extremely tough feature. This is for fillies and mares, and first-level allowance, sprinting 6 furlongs. There's some really tough runners in here, but you got to look. They're also facing older company for the first time. I'm going to go with a 6-1 shot on top. That's the number 2, a Dixie Twister, coming from the barn of Hall of Famer Steve Asmussen. Luis Contreras in the irons. She's going a very lightly raced 4-year-old. She's going from the turf at the fairgrounds where she was an impressive maiden winner, and she's going to get the dirt for the second time today. She ran over the slop in it in her debut at the fairgrounds. She's going to make her local debut.
Also owned by Steve Asmussen. So
yeah, those are always a nice little handicapping angle.
Factor that in as well. Nancy, I don't know whether you've had a chance, but I thought we'd also take a look at the stake tomorrow, the Purple Martin. $150,000 up for grabs for 3-year-old fillies sprinting. And it's an interesting race because you have some horses in here who have some nice experience. Chanel's Legacy looked pretty good winning the Martha Washington. Maybe a little overmatched in the Honeybee. Hotshot Anna comes in with some decent stakes experience from the fairgrounds, albeit on the turf. But I pulled up the replay from the middle of February, and we're going to watch Our Majesty winning. And this was notable to me because Our Majesty, this is the career debut. And this was a pretty good looking career debut with a buyer figure that matches up pretty well with this field. What are your thoughts on tomorrow's Purple Martin?
Yeah, very impressive buyer, as you mentioned, of 82 for Our Majesty. And another impressive one coming in from the barn of Steve Asmussen of Golden Mischief. And a pretty impressive buyer coming out of that one in a stakes of a 79. And she buyered an 82 two back again in a stakes, winning that one by 2 1/4 lengths. So very impressive. She's got a lot of stakes experience coming into this one. And Chanel's Legacy, I like the fact that she is shortening up, even though she does have solid 2-turn experience. And as you mentioned, throw out that Honeybee. She was very, very ambitiously placed in that graded stakes. And I do like that she is going to go back to 6 furlongs. She was on an impressive win streak there, but it was snaps. And I do like that Alex Berzer does have a lot of experience on this filly, but I'm hoping that she is going to return back to the winner's circle. Some great connections, but I think she did have some breathing problems in that last one, but I think Golden Mischief, I like the fact that they brought this horse in, this filly, and she does have some very solid works back on the 12th. A nice bullet, a 5/8 of posting a minute flat, and a very nice on March 12th.
Yeah, I think it's a fun little field, and Our Majesty has the potential to maybe be something special. We'll find out more about that tomorrow. Nancy, before we let you go, I had Andrew Dembski on earlier, and I asked him about Tampa Bay, and I'm just curious, the venues around the country. Do you guys open early tomorrow for Dubai?
Yes, we are. I believe we're going to take wagering, and also want to mention we've got a very special Dawn at Oaklawn tomorrow, which I'll be hosting because it is PDJF Day.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, we are going to have a very special speakers with Alex Berzer and John Court. We'll be selling T-shirts, and definitely want to get the cause out there and let our fans know how they can help.
That's great because we do a promo up here at our clubhouse racebook in Albany just before the Saratoga season to benefit the PDJF. If you're into putting some money into a racing charity, you can't do much better than that, certainly.
Absolutely.
And it's just intriguing. As I say, I asked Andrew Dembski, I'm curious that the Dubai World Cup, particularly this year, has so much American rooting interest that it's interesting to see the venues around the country and how they're participating. And before we let you go, what are your thoughts?
Team Gunrunner.
Well,
Team Gunrunner.
I have been.
You really have to ask.
And I was interested because I have been saying for a week now, I'm really intrigued to see what he's going to do just off of that last race down at Oaklawn. And I've also said even if Arrogate runs away with it, that just allows us as racing fans to kind of say, hey, we're seeing something special. But I think Gunrunner off of that last race is going to be a lot of fun tomorrow.
I know everybody's barking up the Arrogate tree, but you got to go for the home team.
Yeah.
I'm Team Gunrunner.
I hear you. I think I'm right with you. We'll see how it works out tomorrow. Nancy, as always, appreciate the visit, and we'll talk again.
Thanks so much. All right. Thanks, Beth.
Nancy Holthus from Oaklawn Park. We'll head to a break. When we come back, Dave Rodman from Laurel will shift our attention to Maryland. We'll do a little recap of nice stakes action they had last weekend. We'll get some ideas for today as well. Stay tuned.
Like to play Aqueduct or Belmont Park, but you live upstate? With Capital OTB, your favorite tracks are closer than you think. With more than 60 easy bet and branch locations throughout the region, you're just a short drive from all the top tracks across the country and around the world. For a complete list of all easy bet and branch locations, visit CapitalOTB.com.
Championship horse racing continues at Capital OTB. There's no better place to watch, wager, and win than OTB TV and CapitalOTBBet.com.
It's official. OTB TV is heading south to Gulfstream Park for this year's Florida Derby. We'll be broadcasting live from the paddock Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st. Brian Addo and I will be handicapping the day's races, and later on we'll have interviews with the top trainers and jockeys. I'll also be welcoming some very special guests to the set. That's Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st, right here on OTB TV.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America, joined now by Dave Rodman from Laurel Park. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, good morning, Seth, on this Friday. Track going to be faster today. I think there's some rain in the area, but it's cloudy now, and there was no factor for the track. Of course, last week I thought the track would be off, and it wound up good and then fast, so what do I know?
Well, it's weathermen and handicappers. We're all in the same boat.
Right.
You and I were talking during the break, and I've asked the other guests this morning. You guys open up early tomorrow for a little Dubai action, and I think it's going to be fun for fans because there's a group of American horses to root for throughout the card.
Yeah, we are open at 10:15, so we're taking 6th, 7th, 8th,
Nice.
and of course they're capped off by the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's our usual pattern of races, about 4 races and opening at 10:15. We get a nice early crowd for that, and John Scheinman usually brings bagels and cream cheese and mimosas in the press box, so I might have to show up early.
Does Scheinman hang out there a lot?
Sometime, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think he was there last year, but I have to check what his status is this year.
You won't miss him if he's there.
Well, oh yeah, we won't miss it.
He's a big personality. I like John. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk a little bit about last weekend before we get to some ideas for today, because you had a nice stakes card last weekend. But before we talk about the races, I just want to talk about the day, because a couple of press releases were sent out beforehand, and then as the day progressed, Twitter and another press release, that Fantasy Owners promotion, which sounds like a lot of fun and a great idea, turned out to be a huge success.
Yeah, we had about 300 people sign up for the Owners promotion in general, and I was quite pleased. They had a seminar at 10:30, optional training session to watch your horses train at 8:30 in the morning. And then I was a big surprise that they were part of the Fantasy Owners promotion, and actual cash will be distributed at the end of the year to people who participated in the Fantasy Owners promotion. So fans got to choose different races. I think we're given horses in different races, the first 6 races on the card, I believe it was. And $30,000 would be awarded to the participants assigned the first place fantasy horse, $10,000 for second, $5,500 for third, $3,000 for fourth, and $1,500 down to fifth place. There are several horses that have multiple fans following them, since the attendance was so huge and there was a limited number of horses in the first 6 races. So they get to follow their horses through the end of the year and track the earnings. They'll be notified when they run, where they run. If they run locally, obviously they can come out. If they run out of town, then we'll try to make some arrangements for them to watch the horses out of town, say at Penn National or any other track or Delaware, and maybe get some nice seats to make it a full day, get them the full experience.
Yeah, as I read about the promotion, I thought, what a great idea, and certainly it'll draw some people in just as fans, but potential owners as well. So great idea and a nice success over the weekend.
It was a mix of new people, people who've been out maybe once or twice, and a few, I would call them, frequent visitors to the track, but people who were interested in possibly owning or getting into the business. And they had a good panel of folks all the way from breeders to owners to trainers, giving them the basics of the game and what it takes to own and breed a thoroughbred.
Yeah, nice event. All right, let's talk about some of the racing action last Saturday. Some nice stakes action, 3-year-olds in the private terms. Obviously, Dionysus, who has raced so well so far and been competitive in stakes action on the 3-year-old scene at Laurel, goes in as the 4-5 favorite. Dionysus is going to be the number 6 horse. Gets upset by number 1 Twisted Tom. 4-1 second choice. So once you got past Dionysus, the betting public was a little unsure, as this one does get away at 4-1. And I say get away because it's Chad Brown shipping down from New York with a nice New York bred. So Twisted Tom by a nose over O Dionysus. Your thoughts on the private terms?
Well, if the windows were open at the 16th hole, would you have bet on O Dionysus? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because it sure looked like he was going to get there, even with the duel with Darmaster at the top of the stretch. The two Bodemeister runners, O Dionysus and Darmaster, going to battle. Twisted Tom, always known as an even pace runner for trainer Chad Brown. He had told Gabby Gaudet, and indeed, he just kind of even paced it. But finally, the battle between O Dionysus and Darmaster took its toll very late in the game. Fergal Lynch with a never-give-up ride, akin to many Trevor McCarthy rides I've seen here, getting up in the final jump. I mean, the final jump to beat O Dionysus. So excellent effort. I have to give props to Darmaster, who's kind of a nice big Bodemeister colt. He's learning the ropes. He was on his left lead, very game. After the battle, was only beaten a half length. He was certainly the best-looking horse on the track, maybe the best-looking horse I've seen physically at Laurel Park in the post-parade in several months, in a long time. He's a nice horse who may be just a little bit behind the learning curve for trainer Michael Trombetta. You know, they added the blinkers on him because he was green earlier in his career. Maybe they'll do some tinkering, and you'll hear something from him, and perhaps at a big price if they keep the blinkers on, maybe make somewhat of a change, and he gets a little bit more mature as time goes on. I think he's the horse to watch out of there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and if you look at the PPs, you can make the argument that he improved when he stretched out to 2 turns.
Yes, and in his sprints, he was kind of running with his head high in the air a little bit, and that's the reason for the blinkers. He's a good-looking colt.
And speaking of horses with some promise, the Caesar's Wish, obviously it was, scratch reduced down to a field of 4, but Genda's Agenda looked pretty good beforehand. Was the 7-5 morning line favorite when there was 8 scheduled to run. Genda's Agenda ships up from Fairgrounds for Larry Jones, the horse 2 for 2 down at Fairgrounds to start the career, and number 8 Genda's Agenda gets it done by a couple of lengths. Again, as the 2-5 favorite, but now 3 for 3 in the career. It looks like Larry Jones might have a good one here.
Yeah, daughter of Proud Citizen out of the mare that we know a lot about there. Genda's Agenda campaigned at Fairgrounds before coming to Maryland, transfers the talents here against only 3 others, but just kind of kept the task and held sway with a 2-length score at the 1-turn mile. Looks like she's going to point now for the $125,000 Weber City Miss here at Laurel. It'll be on April 22nd, and that's a win-in-your-in race for the Black-Eyed Susan Stakes, of course, the Grade 2 on Preakness weekend here in Maryland. So early reports for this filly, I think he'd maybe tried to point her for some stakes at the Fairgrounds, but it looks like he's going to take the Black-Eyed Susan route and maybe get a win-in-your-in with her here in Maryland. So look for her again to run April 22nd if all goes according to plan.
Sounds good. Let's move on to the Harrison Johnson Memorial because this was a nice performance, again, by a horse that may make a little noise this year. Matt King Cole, as a 3-year-old for Linda Rice, showed some promise, ran 4th in the Wood Memorial last year, hadn't been seen since November, made the comeback on February 18th, and won nicely on a move down to Laurel for Linda Rice. Now comes back this past Saturday in the Johnson Memorial. Matt King Cole, the number 9 horse, 4-5 favorite, just by a head over a Fleet Willie. Bodhisattva, probably the disappointment after the 2 nice performances, winds up 6th in the field of 7 in here. But a nice ding-dong battle down to the wire with Matt King Cole pulling it out.
Yeah, we'll hear from Bodhisattva down the line. The pace wasn't suitable for him, and he did win on kind of the best part of the track last out, but the pace maybe not to his liking in this particular race. But certainly I think the stretch battle of the day, it looked like a Fleet Willie tried to lean in first on Matt King Cole. Matt King Cole kind of came out a little bit on a Fleet Willie. There was some bumping and shoving going on in mid-stretch, and the race was still up in the air until the final yards. Matt King Cole pulls it out. Yes, another win for Linda Rice down here and Horatio Caramanos. I mean, they've been one heck of a team, and Linda Rice, I think she may be up to 56, 57% with shippers from New York now. It's crazy. They're so well spotted here. But, coming off a win at Laurel, certainly looked the part in the post parade, but all props to a Fleet Willie, who was a former claimer, was claimed earlier in his career into the Claudio Gonzalez barn, a leading trainer here.
Let's get some ideas for this afternoon. Let's kick off in race number 4. Fourth at Laurel today is a maiden claimer, 8 to 10,000 tags, 5.5 furlongs to trip. What do you like in race 4?
Scratch, the Etchy Sketchy I know is out. I'm going to take a little bit of a chance here on Claudio Gonzalez, leading trainer with a shortened up gelding, who went 25-4 and 51 going a route last time out, coming to a sprint. Route to sprint, second off the claim for Gonzalez. With maiden claimers, Gonzalez is 3-4-11, 27% with this type of move, 55% in the money. The winner of that maiden claiming race off the jump for Alarming in the Gonzalez barn was won by a gelding named Rodon, who was an 8-length easy winner that day, and ran a pretty good buyer number, 56, very respectable for the level. Doesn't have a whole lot to beat today. I mean, I would assume that a lot of play is going to go to Summer Run down to the inside. It was a $47,000 yearling, debuted for maiden 16, second run, and finished third in that debut run behind Asset Allocation, who was coming off a maiden special weight, maiden 40, dropping down and in for the win there. So Summer Run ran into a class dropper that day with a decent number, gets post 1. But Alarming, maybe not on the lead today, but I think hopefully it'll be sharpened up second time off the claim. I'm going to go with Summer Run and Alarming, maybe just try to box those two in the exacta and hoping that Alarming can come running a little bit today rather than be on the lead. I mean, obviously, the only time he's been on the lead was that slow opening quarter and half in the route. But coming to a sprint here, you never know. Second off the claim in a leading barn.
I like it. I like the cutback angle. The sixth race this afternoon, another maiden claimer, 8 to 10,000 tags. This time the trip, 3/4 of a mile. Your thoughts in the sixth?
Well, they're not going to break any track records in this race, I can tell you. A maiden 8. I'm going to go with a horse who was beaten about 48 to 50 lengths in her last 2 starts. Stella Peach adding the blinkers on with Lane Luzzy, who's come back here to Maryland. Only a couple of wins for Lane, but he's booted home a couple of nice price runners. Blinkers going on. This is a former Hammy Smith horse who ran 5th in the debut behind Hideaway at Pimlico, and I remember thinking maybe she needed blinkers way back when. I don't know why that popped into my mind today when I saw the blinkers on, but she's been kind of over her head on the turf, very little early speed. Maybe the blinkers will be the wake-up call. It's kind of a stab in the dark here and a race that really isn't going to go that fast in raw time. And plus, out of that last race at Laurel, we saw her late December behind value-added Stella Peach. 8th place finisher in there, came back to win for the maiden 10 level. This is just a maiden 8 race, maiden 10. Winner of that race, Zendrea, runs a 39 buyer figure. So coming off that 0 fig, but with the blinkers on, a horse that's shown a bit of promise, at least as much as any of these on the dirt. Going to take a shot here and sell a peach.
All right, 15 to 1 on the morning line off of 2 triple-digit odds in the last couple of races. But we'll take a look at number 4 in race 6. Race 7 this afternoon. Optional claimer, 20 tags. Non-winners are one other than the 1-turn mile. Your thoughts on the 7th?
Well, I had to wait till the scratches to kind of solidify a pick here. Mary Epler entered 2, double whammy, in for the claiming tag in the optional claiming race. Jump, Jive, and Whale. She scratches Jump, Jive, and Whale to leave double whammy in for the $20,000 tag, coming off of the Faltered Ease line in the John Campbell, in which he was over his head behind Bodhisattva that day. Then Freedom Tower scratches. They all come home scratch. Freedom Tower, Karamanos, who usually rides for Mary, went to Freedom Tower for Linda Rice, obviously with that big win percentage. But they're out. Mary says, come on, Horatio, we'll put you on. So it will be Karamanos on double whammy, who had the actual double call in the race initially. This is a horse that at one time in his career started for a claiming price of $5,000. It's really turned around in the Epler barn. Has every right now to run the horse for $20. If she loses the horse for $20, she's made a sizable profit. The horse made $126,000, 5 of 11 last year. He's won half of his starts at Laurel. Don't think you're going to get 7-2 in the morning line as advertised, though, with the 3 scratches in here on double whammy. Jess I Am did run a big race last time out. That's for sure. Behind It Behooves Me. 5 for 27 lifetime and a 3-time Laurel winner. But I think double whammy, if he's 80% right, is just a much better horse than any of these.
All right, sounds good. Dave, we got to wrap things up, but as always, we appreciate the visit. Good luck this afternoon, and we'll catch up with you in 2 weeks. Next week, we're going to be down at your sister track. We're broadcasting live next Friday and Saturday from Gulfstream Park, so we'll talk to you in 2.
Oh, I thought you said my hometown fairgrounds, where I took a drubbing, by the way, last week on that Monday card at Gulfstream. Okay, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks then.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
Dave Rodman from Laurel Park. A little bit earlier, Nancy Holthus from Oaklawn. We kick things off with the guest, Andrew Dembski from Tampa Bay Downs. Let me hit on the promos and events because we certainly want to remind you that the Happy Hour Bankroll today here at the Clubhouse Racebook is waiting for you. Stop by between 11 and 2. Put your name in the hat. 30 folks selected at about 2 o'clock here at the Racebook. 5 more online. You can find out more at capitalotb.com about the online participation. But I'll start playing at about 2. The bankroll has kicked up to $750 with a Rainbow 6 carryover over $1 million today. We'll certainly have a Rainbow 6 ticket and much, much more. Probably looking mostly at Aqueduct, Tampa, Oaklawn, and Gulfstream. So hopefully we can cash some tickets and maybe give you some good ideas if you show up here at the Clubhouse Racebook. We want to see you. The more, the merrier. 711 Central Avenue in Albany. That's also the location for the Dubai World Cup Day activities. 711 Central Avenue. We open up the Racebook tomorrow at 8:30. A lot of great racing on the card, and again, a lot of big American interest in that Dubai World Cup Day series of stakes races. Again, Clubhouse Racebook opening up early. Online, there's a knockout challenge tomorrow. Sunday, there's a knockout challenge here at the Clubhouse Racebook. Keep that in mind. Extra promotions to participate in. And yes, we want to thank our friends at Gulfstream Park for their sponsorship. Gulfstream Park champions start here. And again, we will be down at Gulfstream Park next Friday and Saturday. Mark that on your calendar. Turn on the TV and watch us. Watch us live on your device using the Capital OTB app. However you watch, we want to see your eyeballs on the screen Friday and Saturday as we will be live from Gulfstream Park. Don't forget Derby tickets on sale for your spot, your reserve spot here at the Clubhouse Racebook. Kentucky Derby tickets now on sale for the Racebook. Don't forget also this afternoon, part of the Happy Hour Bankroll, Beat the Host. Should be fun. 6 races at Aqueduct. I pick my 6 horses. You pick your 6. If you beat me, just a head-to-head, winners get the points. If you beat me, everybody who does gets their name thrown in a hat, and there are some betting vouchers that are available. So should be fun here at the Clubhouse Racebook this afternoon as well with that. And I think I have all my promos done, so I'm going to wrap things up for this edition of Racing Across America. Don't forget, great programming continues over the weekend. We have the Handicappers Report tomorrow. And do things start early tomorrow? No. So we're still at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock tomorrow? All right. So 9 o'clock for the handicap. I'm getting notes in my ear. Handicappers Report at 9 tomorrow and Sunday. 10 o'clock tomorrow down the stretch with Mark Casano. 10 o'clock on Sunday. And they're off with Anthony Mormino and myself. All right. And of course, Dubai Racing will be available as well. All right. I'm going to wrap things up for Racing Across America. We are here every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 until 11 a.m. Enjoy the races this afternoon. Let's all cash some tickets, particularly in that Happy Hour Bankroll. We'll see you again tomorrow as far as the network is concerned at 9 a.m.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.